Welcome everyone to our 75th episode special! My name is Philip, and joining me as always is Teacher.
Hello.
Now technically, this is our 75th episode. We had to hold off on recording this due to the 31 Days of Horror taking up the entirety of October with watching, recording, and editing 31 days in a row. But we're here now! Again. For this monumental occasion, we decided to revisit our very first year of doing the October movie marathon. Last year was our first one recording every single night after every single movie and making videos on it for the channel. At the end of the month last year, we did a top 5 and bottom 5 video. That's what we're going to do for this 75th episode. Let's travel back in time and give our top 5 and bottom 5 for October 2014, the first annual October movie marathon. Before we get started, here's a list we have to choose from in order that we watched them. We're trying to avoid things we'd seen prior, such as Shrooms or Descent, and of course, spoiler warning now. Let's get into, do you want to start with the best or the worst?
Let's start with the best.
All right, we're going to start with the top 5 for October 2014, from 5 to 1, with 2 honorable mentions per category. For the tops, what are your honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions is first, and this is kind of an honorable mention because it's been a while, but Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay.
Because I remember liking it, and I remember the fact that, it's resonated to me all this time.
Yeah.
But I also remember it being extremely flawed.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how flawed.
Yeah.
What the flaw was.
Right.
But like I said, as a found footage film, which we both like, I think I enjoyed it.
Okay.
The next honorable mention is one that I did enjoy. And this was a found footage one. It was on Netflix at the time, and it's Alien Abduction.
Okay.
And this was one that, I think was a really good hidden gem. I just remember immediately jumping in, and it stayed, and yeah, it was a very good movie.
Right on. All right. My honorable mentions are, the first one is Housebound. I remember liking it, but it's been so long, 5 years ago. I don't recall liking it more than my top 5s. If that makes sense. So I thoroughly recommend it. The other honorable mention is Inner Demons. I thought this was a very freaking clever way to tell a possession story. We had never seen anything like it. Is she an addict junkie or is she possessed? I thought it was well told. It wasn't the best thing ever, but it was just so interesting and done competently enough that it kind of, like how Skinwalker resonated with you. I still kind of think about Inner Demons from time to time, especially when we're looking at movies to watch or talking about possession stuff. I'm like, man, Inner Demons was kind of cool. So those are honorable mentions. Let's get into the top 5 list. What is number 5?
Number 5 is The Children.
Nice.
I've always liked killer children movies. And this one totally was it.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit killer children, a little bit zombies, and very violent and very entertaining.
Yes, I remember enjoying that one a whole lot. Number 5 might be controversial for some people. For me, it was Horns. I liked Horns a lot. I thought it was cool that it was an adaptation from Stephen King's Son, a book he wrote. It was cool to see Daniel Radcliffe play kind of this. It was kind of like a fairy tale parable. And I thought it was just really well told. It has the best use of personal Jesus that Marilyn Manson covered. I've seen in a movie to date. I loved how it popped in. What was number 4?
My number 4 was Horns.
Nice.
Very much mimicking much of what you said. This was like a modern day dark fable. And for me, it kind of fits the masculine flip side of the coin of Jennifer's Body.
Okay. See that?
Both movie, like, it very much reminded me of Jennifer's Body.
I can
It
see
may
that.
have just been location, but for me, it was also just the mood. Definitely interesting take on a mystery, as well as adding the demonic aspect to it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Number 4 for me is The Possession of Michael King. I was very impressed with this movie. I'm usually not like the biggest fan of possession movies. Like they're a hard sell for me. But I remember this one really being well done. It was cool seeing a male being possessed. It's almost always females. And I'm not saying that's a negative thing, but it's always that tired trope of, oh, women are more fragile, which isn't the truth, you know? And it was cool to see a man be a male possessed person being in that same fragile state. It went against the grain of typecast, and that's why I liked it a lot. And the main actor did a great job. And we had a little bit of eye candy, so no complaints there. But as far as possession movies go, it was hard with Inner Demons, because like Inner Demons was really good, but Michael King kind of was a bit better to me. That's why it's number 4. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Right on.
This was another found footage one, in a way, and this was just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I think this was like a blind watch. And I think it was newly released, and it's like, yeah, sure, give it a shot. And then, holy shit, was this good.
Right.
And very believable characters, and just overall, it had a hell of a story to tell, and it did a good job at it.
Right on. My number 3 is The Taking of Deborah Logan. For everything you said, it was new on Netflix. I remember this vividly. You're like, hey, there's this new movie on Netflix called Taking of Deborah Logan. I was like, why not? It was really good. It subverted the genre, much like Inner Demons. Because this one is she senile? Just from being older? Or is she actually possessed? I remember vividly being really happy that an older actress was portrayed like this.
Yes.
And I just like when tropes are just kind of pounded to the ground. You know, women are always possessed because they're the more fragile sex, and I hate that typecast. It's not true. Or, older actors and actresses can't do tasking, physical, intense kind of movies, and that's not true either. This proved the point. So, yeah, also my number 3. What is your number 2?
Number 2 is, and I'm not even going to attempt the full pronunciation.
Okay.
But Harpoon.
Okay, yeah.
Word I'm not going to attempt. A Whale Watching Massacre.
Right.
And this one was just so entertaining to me. Definitely a new take on the slasher flick. It takes the entire backwoods subgenre and puts it on a boat in Switzerland. And the characters, so many of the characters were the very definition of subverting expectations. And yeah, this one I just constantly can't recommend enough to people. Right on.
All right, my number 2 is going to shock you. My number 2 is Detention. Believe it or not. This was the very first movie we ever watched. It was number 1 for the movie marathon. So all these years later, like 150 movies we'll have, this was number 1. This was a fucking amazing movie. It had Josh Hutcherson being adorable as fuck. This was horror comedy done right. And truth be told, I may have been a little stoned when I watched it, because I was doing that back in the day. And hypothetically, I remember it ended. I'm like, oh my god, that was so amazing! Like, it was a great start to think about that. Our first movie in all the marathons was Detention.
Yes.
Like, you can't really do better. You could. We'd have to get lucky to do better than that. But for a first one, that's fucking awesome. This is one I cannot recommend enough to people. And sadly, it flew under the radar. Not many people know about it. And I wish it got a lot more attention, because it's really good. All right, the number 1 best movie for October 2014. I think I know what it is, but give it to me.
Yeah, it should come as no surprise.
Yep.
Detention.
Yep.
the very definition of entertainment
Oh god, yeah.
and quirkiness. Like, this is how you do a quirky horror movie.
Yep.
Josh Hutcherson was adorable,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a slasher movie, and then it was Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
and just so good.
Nice.
And yours?
My number one movie, believe it or not, for October 2014, Only Lovers Left Alive.
Nice.
This was beautiful. Here's the thing. Nothing happens. They lay around. They listen to music. But it was so good. I own this one. I bought this one. Almost immediately after we watched it. And just, I can't. It's like a horror drama done right. It's one of those where it's so good, as said, not a whole lot happens for a lot of it. When stuff happens, it's like, whoa. And it was the last movie we watched for 31 day, or the first movie marathon. And I mean, what a great way to begin and end that month. Detention and Only Lovers Left Alive. And yeah, it was amazing. So I cannot recommend it highly enough.
And just to jump in there, yeah, the best way I describe that movie is it's the best movie where nothing happens at all.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Yes.
Because it works. All right. Now let's go to the bad side of town. The worst. What are your honorable mentions?
So honorable mentions is, and again, this one is kind of sort of an honorable mention, because I remember not liking it, but I also remember there being aspects of it that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Raised by Wolves.
Okay.
And I can't explain it all because I don't remember.
Yeah, fair.
And yours?
Oh, I have two. Mine kind of falls into your it's not Raised by Wolves. This might be kind of a shocker to you in a way, but it's kind of for the same reasons yours was. It had moments, but overall, I was kind of It was The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I think you liked it more than I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really impressed. I know it was a remake, but I wasn't really impressed. I thought it was and my second one is Eden Log. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember it was sci-fi, and I remember it was fucking dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember not really being impressed. And it's hard. I'm usually more forgiving with sci-fi because you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's fiction, science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's sci-fi. And it didn't. I didn't think it did a good job. All right, let's get into our official bottom 5. What is number 5?
Willow Creek.
Okay. Yes, fair.
And this is the one that was done by Bobcat Goldthwait.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one that I remember actually enjoying all the way through.
I liked the couple.
Uh-huh.
I thought the couple were written really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was not.
Yeah, I just remember enjoying it all the way through until the ending, and the ending was such a shit ending.
Yes.
That it kind of killed the entire movie for me.
Yes, I can see that.
And yours?
My number 5 is Fragile.
Oh.
I know. I remember being a ghost story, but you know how I am with ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta bring me something, or I just don't care. It's like with possession movies. You gotta bring me something, or I don't care.
And some of that may have been my fault for building the movie up so much to you.
I think maybe the synopsis was a little misleading,
mm-hmm.
if I remember right. But yeah, so that's mine. What is your number 4 bottom movie?
Number 4 is Seconds Apart.
Oh, okay.
And this was one that I was very much looking forward to. I watched it, and I very much regretted it. I remember writing a review and pinpointing what was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just overall, it just wasn't a good movie.
It had a good premise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And casting twins was smart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And what was yours?
My number 4 is Shadow People. This movie was bullshit. I remember when I made the poster, I wrote, "Do not see this movie," like in Photoshop all over the top of the poster. It was boring. It was bad. It was weak.
Mm-hmm.
In every single way. Do not watch this movie. Don't watch it. Yuck. All right, what was your number 3 bottom movie?
Eden Log.
Okay.
This was just, I mean, as you said, it was dark. And then it was just also that weird to the point that I just kind of felt like they didn't really know what direction to go. Probably because it was so fucking dark. And I was bored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's about all that I remember.
All right.
But I do remember not liking it at all. And for your number 3.
My number 3 is Mercy. If I recall correctly, this is based on a Stephen King story.
Mm-hmm.
And it has Coral from Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It was boring. It wasn't good. It had good actors. Stephen King stories are either adapted really, really, really fucking good, or the opposite, really, really, really fucking bad. This isn't the worst Stephen King adaptation ever, but it's in the bad pile. And for this month, it was one of the worst ones, in my opinion. So, yeah. All right, number 2.
Number 2 is Shadow People.
Oh, okay.
It's just,
Bleh.
yeah, to go along with what you said, it was just piece of shit movie.
It was, yeah. It was bad.
Bad acting.
Yes.
Bad storytelling.
Yes.
Bad writing.
Yes.
Bad pacing.
Yes.
Bad cinematography.
It was like Last Shift before we got to Last Shift.
Yeah.
Spoiler for a future video.
So, yeah.
All right.
Number 2 for you.
My number 2 is VHS Viral.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the first one. I found parts of the second one I enjoyed. Part 3 was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Part 3 was just, ugh. I really, really, really like anthology movies. You know, you have monster movies and whatnot. I like anthology movies. And to just make me not like you so much, you have to really, really, really fail.
Mm-hmm.
And while on paper, Shadow People is worse, I was more disappointed with VHS Viral because I had more expectations going into it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number 2. The worst movie of October 2014, the first annual horror movie marathon. What is it?
It will probably come as no surprise to you, but The Houses That October Built.
Ooh, okay.
Like, you know I didn't like this
I know you did like. I like this one a lot more than you did.
I loathed this movie.
This is before we got part 2.
Yeah. Just, again, one that kind of had me going there for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but then that bullshit fucking ending happened. And it didn't help that the characters were assholes, which we had no idea the depth of their assholishness yet.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, side note, if listeners out there want to hear me absolutely lose my shit, I'm going to put a link in the video now for the Houses October Built 2 review that we did, I believe, last year. Last year, during October 2017. I think it's the only time I've ever actually yelled during a podcast. I was so pissed off. While I think 1 was salvageable, 2 was bullshit. But we're not going to get into that because that's not about that year. So
yeah.
So yours is Houses October Built. All right, cool.
So yeah, in conclusion, fuck this movie. And
all right.
On that note, what is your worst movie?
My worst movie is Willow Creek.
Mm-hmm.
It pissed me off. I remember ranting to you about it. How much I did not like this movie. I said, other than the couple, again, see, this is like Shadow People on every level was worse. But Willow Creek just left such a bad taste in my mouth that I don't even care about the bad acting from Shadow People or the bad cinematography or the bad editing. Willow Creek was just, you have such good dialogue and you were building up decently. I don't like creature movies, which also goes into it, which is why I'm way less forgiving than you. This is the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
They're boring. They're predictable. The ending was fucking bullshit. I think this is kind of interesting that your worst movie and my worst movie kind of follow the same pattern.
Mm-hmm.
They had us for a while, but that end ruined it. Houses October Built ruined that movie for you. The ending of Willow Creek ruined that movie for me. Because, oh my god, how do you just... I don't know how to... It was just so bad. It was so bad. And I was so disappointed in Bobcat for, like, how can you not know? That's bad. I don't know. I don't like it. Blech. Yuck. Yeah, Willow Creek, number 1. All right, so that is the conclusion of our 75th episode, 75th podcast, going over the top and bottom from October 2014, our first annual horror movie marathon. Thank you for listening. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends or cool people who might dig the Vizcast. And please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the newest content. Speaking of, we are now in November. Praise the Lord. Yes. That's some little gospel for you. And we're going to be finally starting The Haunting of Hill House. And I'm really excited.
Yes, same.
I have people actually writing me on my wall on Facebook. No one ever talks to me on Facebook other than you. And people are writing me, being like, have you watched this yet? I'm like, no, I can't. Why not? Because we were doing 31 Days of Horror. Now we can. Now we're free. Not in a bad way, because it's always fun, or we wouldn't do it. But now our schedule is more open, I guess I should say. And we're going to finally get to that. So until the next video, once again, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we will talk to you very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.